Good evening and welcome to the news. 10 individuals have received the highest award for their acts of valor, and as well as the Ministry of Health and the Seychelles Red Cross Society. The ceremony was held late this afternoon at State House.
President Wavell Ramkalawan received the first Medal of the Republic. He was decorated by the Chief Justice Ronnie Govinden. Late President Sir James Mankam was also bestowed the Medal of the Republic. His wife and son received the award in his name. 4 people received the Medal of Honor: Governor of the Central Bank, Caroline Abel, the late Archbishop Emeritus French Chonghim, the late Mr. Antonio Constance, also known as Mazarin, for his contribution in promoting environmental conservation, and Mr. Luc Grandcourt in recognition of his heroism in saving the lives of passengers on board passenger boat Aero. For the Medal of Merit, there were also 4 recipients. Mr. Harry Dingwall for being a regular blood donor over the past 32 years, the late Mrs. Helen Fontaine for her contribution in the medical field as a nurse in the operating theatre, and the late Mrs. Regina Melani for promoting the Creole language. Popular artist Joseph Samy, better known as Joe Samy, also received the Medal of Merit for his contribution in promoting local music. The Ministry of Health and the Seychelles Red Cross Society received the Pride of the Republic of Seychelles Award for their effective response during the COVID-19 pandemic. A national awards committee headed by Robert Grandcourt was set up to shortlist nominees forwarded by members of the public and to make recommendations to the Chancellor of the Order of the Republic of Seychelles.
In his address, President Ramkalawan said it is an old dream for the country to recognize those who have rendered service, those who've given their time, and those who have given of themselves for the country.
What we are celebrating today is of such great importance. As a people, we are recognizing Seychellois for what they've done, for what they've achieved. We are celebrating so many people who have simply given of themselves to the motherland. And for this, I am personally very happy. But for me, it is unfortunate that so many of those people who we are rewarding today have left us. But I am happy at the same time that their memories are not gone forever. That today, through this ceremony, we are bringing them back to our shores. We are saying to them, and to members of their family, we recognize what your father, what your mother did.
The Seychelles Interfaith Council, SIFCO, in collaboration with the National Celebration Committee, has organized a Thanksgiving service which will be held at the ICCS on the National Day this Thursday, the 29th of June. The Public Relations Officer for SIFCO, Marion Gendron, says the theme chosen for this service is peace and unity.
This program of the 29th is being organized by the Seychelles Interfaith Council. It's the first of its kind because before we were having 5 minutes during the National Parade, but this time we have just over an hour, and it's organized by the Seychelles Interfaith in collaboration with the National Celebrations Committee. There are reflections, there are various aspects of the program. The program is basically spiritual reflections, but then there are other people who are going to be present, like the political leaders and the 3 branches of government, and they will be given peace symbols. And the theme of this program is national unity and peace, which means that at the end of the day, society has to balance itself like society is like a bird with the two wings, the spiritual and the material. While the material is important, the spiritual is even more important.
Chief Justice Ronnie Govindan has made an order that prosecution starts handing over documents to the defense in the case against Carlos Cafrin. Cafrin has been charged with the murder of a 3-year-old girl who died around 2 months ago. Cafrin's lawyer, Alexia Amsbury, has expressed his disappointment of the lack of cooperation from the police and the prosecution. She has stated that it's unlikely that her client will have a fair trial after a march was organized in remembrance of the deceased that she believes portrayed her client badly. The Constitutional Court will deliver its decisions on certain cases that came up today at a later date. However, it did dismiss a motion in one particular case.
It's on the 4th of next month that Judge Carolus will deliver her decision on whether Judges Boran and Espao should recuse themselves from hearing any cases of the Valabji couple, Mukesh and Laura. This morning, lawyers of the Attorney General's Office and of the Anti-Corruption Commission asked the court to adjourn any decisions on motions brought by the Valabji couples until the decision on the recusal case. In the case of 3 entities questioning the constitutionality of the 10th Amendment to the Constitution, which allows the defense forces to help the police in certain operations, the court this morning dismissed their motion for stay of application. And it's on the 5th of September this year that the court will start hearing the case of United Seychelles Party versus the Republic and others. The case follows SBC's decision not to broadcast live the party's press conference. The Attorney General's Office has filed an objection saying only SBC should be involved in the case and not the others.
The Seychelles Defense Forces has completed its inquiry in the death of a trainee recruit, Chad Payet, which occurred during a training session in March this year. Opposition leader in the National Assembly, Sébastien Pillet, this morning tabled a PNQ to the Vice President, Ahmed Afif, asking about why the family of the late Mr. Payet has been denied a copy of the inquiry report. Vice President Afif said that the report is an internal document classified as confidential by the SPDF. He said despite that, SPDF is open to meeting the Payet family and openly discuss the content of the report. Chad's mother followed the session from the National Assembly Public Gallery. The Minister for Health, Peggy Vidot, has said that the ministry intends to continue providing methadone for heroin addicts for as long as it is required. Speaking during question time in the National Assembly this morning, Minister Vidot said that unless there is a far better treatment that is developed in the future, methadone will continue to be used to enable addicts to get back on their feet and contribute to society. On a related question, Minister Vidot told the National Assembly that preparations are underway for the construction of a rehabilitation center which will provide ambulatory care to drug addicts and patients requiring psychological care. The facility is expected to be built opposite the English River Health Center. And the Tourism Department is about to implement 2 classification programs for tourism establishment. Grading is for establishments with more than 50 rooms. The program is mandatory for the group of establishments. The other program is Seychelles Secret. This regulation is expected to be published early next month to be able to move to the implementation. The implementation of these 2 programs has been approved by the Cabinet of Ministers recently.
The legal backing for us to start implementation of our grading system, which is basically the classification of our star rating properties and our Seychelles Secrets program. In early July, the regulation will be published, which means that now we can formally start the implementation. The first 3 months, we will be focusing more on communication and awareness for our various properties in Seychelles, because we would like, especially for those optional, we would like for all of them to consider joining the relevant program. And by September, we will start with the assessment of the various properties, those that are mandatory and those that have expressed the interest to join the program. We anticipate that it will take us a full year before we do the full rollout, taking into consideration the resource we have at the Department of Tourism. And since we would like that when we do the first publication of all the star-rated properties and the Seychelles Secret properties, we would like that all the mandatory ones they get published at the same times in terms of fairness.
We've come to the end of this news summary. Thank you for your attention.